A good day and welcome to another exciting episode. And before we go deeper into today's topic, I'd like to put a personal disclaimer. This is a disclaimer. Understand that what I'm about to share with you today, this is based on personal opinion, based on my 14 years of teaching experience. So this is not much in the books of psychology, and I didn't get this from my training as a classroom practitioner, but it's based on my experiences and what I've seen countless times. Now, do I wish to change my perspective on this issue? Yes, but that's a story for another day. As for now, I'm sticking to what I want to say just to have a sense of focus today. So, my issue today is on indiscipline in schools. Indiscipline, especially in high schools. All right, that's where our focus is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something. A child who disrespects, disobeys, walks away while the mother is talking to them, or talks back at their mother, to me personally, as a teacher, as an individual, that child is a write-off. Those are the kind of students that I'll get into class, I do exactly what I do, and I will not make an effort to give an extra attention towards. All right. So the question you might be asking yourself, why? Perhaps they need more assistance. Now, let me explain this. This is what happens. A mother, in fact, mothers are literally our first source of food, first source of emotional support, first source of emotional and spiritual comfort. So usually mothers spend a lot of time with us when we are young because they are primary source of everything basically when we are young. Now, a child or a person who takes all that for granted, to me that's a totally lost cause. And so that is why I always have this attitude that is severely against a child who disobeys or disrespects the mothers. Fathers are also included as well. Fathers are also included. But I put emphasis on the mothers because in our African context generally, usually, it's the mothers that spend more time with the children. So mothers have invested more. And a child who takes their mother like that for granted is a total write-off for me. So please, for the mothers, let me explain this. For the mothers, this is so that you can take note before you allow your child to become a spoiled brat, before you tolerate your child taking you for granted, because these things start quite early in life. Believe you me, before a child goes out of the house and displays certain characteristics, they first of all experiment those attributes. At home or somewhere, there's somewhere where they test those attributes. And once the attribute is tolerated, then it grows into another stage. It keeps on maturing, going into another stage, into another phase. So, for the mothers, take note, the more you tolerate your child to disrespect you, the more you tolerate your child to disobey you, the more you tolerate your child to talk back or to walk away from you while you're talking to them, the more you are actually writing off your child, because no one else will ever have the same power or an equivalent form of control or investment on the child. So check it as it begins. All right. Make sure you check it, you monitor that, and put your child back on level so that others can also control their child. Because if the child cannot respect, if the child cannot obey or follow the commands of the first person who gave them food, the first person who gave them emotional support, spiritual comfort, who else is the child ever going to listen to? So as teachers, we always have this hard time, this difficult time, but I've chosen to simplify it for myself. Remember, I'm saying this is my personal opinion. I've chosen to simplify it. If the mother failed to teach their child to be under control, under a tight grip, then it's not my duty because I'm coming into the child's life 13, 14 years later. So how much power do I think I would have? Imagine how expensive. I'm not saying it's impossible to help them. It's possible to help them. But how expensive, how demanding has it become? You understand the situation. So when it comes to indiscipline in schools, I strongly believe that it begins with the mothers, then it goes to probably the fathers and everyone else, but the mothers first. And when the mothers fail, we are in hell. That's a simple way of putting it. And the child is never going to get any assistance. All right? So let's have this conversation. What do you think? What are your thoughts on it? Because the aim for these conversations is for us to grow. The aim is for us to start a discussion that will help us to find solutions. And with all this said, I thank you. If you are a child, remember these words. If you are taking your mother for granted, if you're not listening, if you're disobeying your mother, you are taking your own grave because no one else is going to wish or to desire to put you under control or to teach you or to mentor you or to guide you. It's simple as that. If you're a mother, take hold, take note of any indiscipline on your child early enough and make sure you put it under control. Don't let it mature to another stage where it becomes more problematic because no one else is going to be able to control that problem. Thank you so much. Enjoy a beautiful day.